Hello everyone, Jamarcus here, and I'm here with week 7 of DDL. We're 4-2 right now, so looking pretty good for playoffs, but definitely going to want to win at least one of the next 2 games here. We're facing Angry Leprechaun, who I faced last season, and got a little lucky with the Zapdos static, which resulted in my Terra Slitherwing getting a sweep. So, hoping to get some similar luck this game, but of course, can't count on that. As for the team I'm bringing, a Scarf Val with Encore, a Fizz-Def Sinistra with Stun Spore, bars, AV Treads, some kind of lead support Glamora, a weakness policy Agility Lottie, and just an attacking Samurott. Expecting a Lopunny lead, um, and that is what we see. I lead Glamora. I can live Fake Out into close combat, even like Adamant High Jump Kick I would live. So I'm expecting to Fake Out here. I could go Sinistra, take not very much, uh, and then threaten it back with a Stun Spore or Machagacha or whatever. But I figured it's fine to just stay in, take the Fake Out, and get in action next turn. They click Magic Coat, but I actually click Reflect this turn, which I am really glad with. It was between that or probably Toxic. I didn't think I was going to click Rocks this turn because I really want to get a Toxic on this Tentacruel because as you saw from this Fake Out, I am Corrosion, not Toxic Debris. I go Sinistra now that I have a Reflect up, and I can take the close combat pretty comfortably. They click U-turn, I just click Stun Spore here. I don't want to click Strength Sap into a Tentacruel, Liquid Ooze, and then take a whole bunch of damage. So, Gouging Fire gets Stun Spore. I was really surprised to see Gouging Fire switch in here because I'm Terra Fairy Heat Proof. What does this thing do to me? I also have a Reflect up. So if I have Nasty Plot, I'm comfortably 1v1ing this Pokemon. Unfortunately, I don't have Nasty Plot. I'm Strength Sap, Dual Stab. So Shadow Ball does not do a whole lot, and they start DDing. Pretty scary. I realized a few turns later that I can just go Scarf Encore Val and Encore this. In hindsight, I probably should have gone and done that this turn. They click Morning Sun, totally fine. I Shadow Ball. Again. They DD again. I Strength Sap. They are Clear Amulet, really good bring, means that they can Dragon Dance up on me. They DD once more as I Shadow Ball. And at this point I'm thinking, okay, they probably want to heal. I don't think they are going to Dragon Dance and become faster than my Scarf Val. I also don't think they're going to attack this turn. So I go into Iron Val. Wait, I don't. Never mind. I definitely should have gone Val there. I Shadow Ball then, and now I switch. And I Encore. Really sloppily played, to be honest. I also probably should have just had Nasty Plot. Didn't have a ton of time this week, so just kind of threw something together. No mocks. But I can Encore it. They did get fully paralyzed. I'm really hoping they weren't clicking Dragon Dance that turn, or else they might have ended up being faster than my Val. I go into Glamora, figuring I can get a Reflect up. And then, actually, no, I go Glamora, but then I go back to Val to Encore again. In comes Kartana. I thought about that maybe Gouging Fire does switch this turn, but if I get that play wrong and they stay in and kill me, I kind of just lose the game. So I was not going to risk that. In comes Iron Treads on a very obvious Smart Strike. And assuming that this is Choice Scarf, I can get a really free Volt Switch. And if they are not Choice Scarf, and they click Sacred Sword, I will live, and then I can Volt Switch and click Close Combat with Iron Valiant. Hoopa comes in, which was so surprising to me. I click Volt Switch this turn. If I just click Earthquake, this thing gets 2 KO'd. I'm so surprised that Hoopa switched in this turn, but it worked out for them. And now I can't kill this thing, so I go Samurott, and I fail to remember that this is Terra Fairy. So I click Ceaseless Edge. I do miss, which sucks, but I mean, I have Aqua Cutter, which would have just done like 70% to this, and it's a really easy revenge kill from Iron Valiant, Close Combat, or even an Iron Treads Earthquake. So definitely misplayed here. Forgot this was Terra Fairy again. Did not spend a lot of time with this matchup. In comes Iron Treads to threaten a Heavy Slam. I do just click Earthquake though. Lopunny comes in. It does kill me with close combat, so I am just going to switch into Sinistra. They do CC. They've revealed all 4 of their moves, so I know that my Latias, this is probably what I'm going to be proccing weakness policy against. U-turn's their only move to hit me, really. And then the U-turn, I think I click Shadow Ball this turn. Yeah, figuring that Tentacruel would switch in, do some decent damage. I thought about going Treads here, because it's a really free switch in, but I did not want them to flip turn back to Lopunny and then keep clicking close combat and kind of get stuck in that loop. So I do stay in on the flip turn. In comes Gouging Fire, and I can Shadow Ball for some pretty solid damage. I go Gilmora as the Iron Head, good bring for my Terra Fairy Sinistra. In comes Lopunny, and I reflect. I'll live any hit. They go into Cart as I get up my rocks. And then they can kill me with Smart Strike. I thought about going Treads here, saving the Gilmora, but I didn't think it was entirely necessary. Mew comes in on my Earthquake, or my Rapid Spin rather. I thought Lopunny was going to come in because it lives in Earthquake. In hindsight, I live close combat from Lopunny because of Reflect, so it's a really free Earthquake for me. Granted, this is a Fizz-Def Mew, so Earthquake's not really going to be doing a lot of damage to it anyways. I Volt Switch out, recognizing that it's Fizz-Def and it might be like Roost, so I didn't want to just keep spamming an Earthquake into it for no reason. I go into Sinistra, and at this point I'm like, okay, well, how am I winning this game? I need damage on Tentacruel and Hoopa for like Scarf CC to win, and a lot more damage on Mew because it's Fizz-Def. Or Scarf Moonblast can win, but similarly I need a little bit of damage on Cart, more than a little bit, but need damage on Hoopa and damage on Tentacruel. Sinistra not really doing anything, and then Lottie I'm going to need to proc weakness policy, but if I get an agility and a weakness policy, Hoopa might be living a stored power still. And also I'm kind of walled by Cart. My last move's Thunderbolt. I have dual step Thunderbolt. Stored power should kill anyways. I also need to watch out for fake up priority, so it's not looking great for Latias. Kind of just going to need to wear things down for Val. Reflect ends. That's my last Reflect of the game. In comes Tentacruel. I probably could have made a double this turn to try and keep up rocks, but I do just Shadow Ball. And that's really free spin for them. I do Stun Spore, thinking that maybe they would go Lop and try and save health on Tentacruel. But I do Paralyze Tentacruel, and I now know that this is going to be faster than me. So I'm thinking they might flip turn out, but they do just Sledge Wave to kill me. I could have gone Treads there, but again, if they flip turn on my Treads, it's really not a great position for me. Rather, I can just sack Sinistra, go into Treads, and threaten an Earthquake. In comes Mew. I can Heavy Slam for a bit more damage, trying to get this thing in range of Iron Val. They Super Fang, totally fine. I Volt Switch out into Val. And they Trick Room. Really bad for me, because now I'm recognizing, okay, I know this Hoopa was max HP, so I know they don't have a lot of speed, I don't think, unless they're like no investment on their special or physical attack. So now it's making a lot of sense that this is a Trick Room Hoopa. So I go back into Treads, I believe. Yeah. As they teleport out into Hoopa. Depends on what move they're going to click here. Terra Blast Fairy should not kill me, unless they're like banded Terra Blast Fairy. I think that might, but special should not kill because I'm AV. Then any other move that's going to be hard for them to lock into. Dark move, Val will live. And Psychic move doesn't really do a lot to Lottie. Also, it's not going to kill my Treads. I Earthquake for a crit, doesn't quite kill. Had I hit my Caesar Sledge, maybe I could have tried to keep up my hazards a little better, and then that would have ended up killing, but again, it's a crit anyway, so I can't ask for too much. I save the sack and go Lottie here. In hindsight, this might have been a misplay, because they can go hard Kartana. If I would have just sacked my Iron Treads and then went Lottie, let me just calc, I know you're seeing this. If my Lottie lives a Kartana knockoff, which I totally do, I could have actually procced weakness policy and forced a lot of kills. So I think that was a misplay. I tried saving the sack, but if I would have just sacked Iron Treads, I could have gone Lottie, gotten a free agility, and assuming they still go Cart in that scenario, then maybe I could have lived knockoff. Although it's a really obvious weakness policy, so Um, maybe they would have clicked knockoff. Also, if I had more bulk, I could have lived that knockoff, as we saw from the calc there. Just about 70% minimum. So if I was max FizzDef, which I have a lot of speed, it's definitely risky for my opponent to make that play, although with that being said, they do have Fake Out to revenge kill me. So I don't think I would have won the game off this Latias, but I think I would have forced a lot more progress. And at this point of the game, it's looking pretty bad, but at the same time, Scarf CC, I mean, Lop dies, Cart dies, Gouge gets 2 KO'd and is parried, Hoopa dies, Mew doesn't, Tentacruel doesn't. So if I can get a little bit more chip on this, on these two, although it looks really bad differential-wise, Scarf CC could actually just win this game. And I do click that here. I thought about making the read of Tentacruel coming in and clicking Psyshock, but they could also just go FizzDef Mew, which also lives 2 close combats. So it was going to be a really awkward play for me to make anyways. So I do just click close combat. In comes Tentacruel, and as you see, yeah, they do live the 2 CCs. And there's no roll that I can go for after the Black Sledge recovery. I go Treads here on the Sledge Wave, and I've got a bit of a 50-50 here. Do I think they're going to stay in and flip turn, expecting the Volt Switch to kill Val, or just Sludge Wave into Val? Or should I Earthquake on them staying in? I do end up clicking Volt Switch as Kartana comes in, and it puts me in another position to click Close Combat. But I actually click Moonblast here. Moonblast might not 2 KO Tentacruel, but I'm expecting a Mew switch in more likely, because I clicked Close Combat last time. They know that Close Combat is going to 2 KO. It's 56%. Tentacruel is well below that, including the Black Sledge recovery. So I think a Mew switch is more likely, and I can Moonblast because Cart dies to that, but they do just sack Cart anyways. So I don't get 6-0. This would have been my first 6-0. It was looking really bad. They actually bring in Mew, which was surprising. They get up their Trick Room, and they click Teleport. I guess if they go Tentacruel, they're risking a full para by clicking Sledge Wave, or they're risking me going into Treads. But also, if I crit this CC, sorry, I'm on the wrong turn. If I crit that Moonblast, I might just win the game. But I think that could be said with any. Like, if Tentacruel gets full paired, Mew gets crit, game over. Unless Fake Out is doing enough damage, which maybe it is. I don't know. I don't know if like 4 Fake Outs would do it, probably. Anyways, rough game. Obviously I lose from this point. Trick Room, Psychic is just going to clean up my team. Definitely could have put some more time into this matchup, and it shows. We got 1 more week left. Our differential is really bad. We're 4-3 with negative. I think we've got to win to get into playoffs at this point. It'll depend on the standings, but we're pretty much at the bottom of the 4-3 coaches, I'm assuming. So I've really got to get this win next week to make it. Thanks for watching. GG Sangry, and I'll see you next time.